4 civilians have been killed in a new attack targeting French soldiers in Mali. Dozens more were hurt in the apparent car bombing in Gao on Sunday, including 4 soldiers. It was the second attack in Mali Sunday after 4 more were killed when vehicles belonging to an armed group of former Tuareg rebels hit a landmine. And 3 days before that, a suicide bomber hit the Mali headquarters of the 5-nation military force known as G5 Sahel. That, of course, has added concerns about how it can tackle the jihadist groups roaming the region. Well, to talk more about this with me now, I'm joined on the set by France 24's expert on terrorist movement, Wassim Nasr. Wassim, these attacks that I listed are just the latest in a series of attacks that we've seen there in Mali since the beginning of the year.
Yes, of course. We have attacks on daily basis today, either against the Malian army or against the forces of the MINUSMA, the United Nations forces, or the French army, and it goes back even to the first attack of this kind, attacking a French military convoy, goes back to January 2017. Also in Gao. Another attack of the same kind was the 11th of January 2018, where 3 soldiers were wounded through an attack. And here we are seeing a map of the attacks since January 2017. So since a year and a half, and we see all the yellow dots are where attacks occurred. So the most important attacks, at least occurred. Today we know that France has been engaged there since 5 years and a half. Today France has more than 4,000 soldiers on the Sahel region, and we have France also lost 22 soldiers on the operations there, and of them 17 who were killed in hostile attacks, because others were killed in like kind of accidents. And the 2 latest military killed were back in February, where also a colonel of the army was also wounded severely. And what's new today, and even that wasn't common in this region, is suicide attacks with kamikaze jihadis driving cars full with explosives. So today we see that this is a kind of modus operandi that is getting into the normal as a modus operandi in Mali or in the Sahel region, which wasn't the case till maybe a year ago. And this goes because today we see that many groups in the Sahel are creating coalitions in order to attack especially the French army, knowing that today there's the meeting in Nouakchott, and many of those attacks were like attacks on anniversary dates. The anniversary of the first French operation, like Serval, which goes to 11th of January 2013, meetings, the attacks that occurred also in response to French operations, for example, in the Menaka region or in northern Mali.
Wassim, what more do we know about who specifically is behind these attacks?
We have 2 main groups. Okay, we can put them under the banner of Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. The most important group is called Jama'at Nusrat al-Islam wal-Muslimin, which was composed on April 2017 with many figures like Katibat Masina of Muhammad Kufa, and Yahya Abu al-Humam of Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb, Iyad Ghali from Ansar Din, who is the head today of this formation, and Hassan al-Ansari from Mirabitoun, who's the spokesperson of Belmokhtar, who was said to be killed, but many sources, some of my sources are telling me that no, he is still alive, which is to be taken into consideration. And the new thing about this coalition is that they succeeded in putting someone very political. Iyad Ghali is someone very political and someone very respected in the region. He's from a Tuareg origin, and at one moment he was even like the spokesperson of the Tuareg regarding France and other countries. So they have many cards to play. Lately, they issued threats against Western societies operating on the Sahel region, threats that were taken seriously. Some of the French enterprises even told their employees to leave for this summer, because anti-terror operation even in Ouagadougou enabled services to collect information to confirm that those threats are really to be taken seriously, because many threats are being issued from time to time, but this is to be taken seriously. And we shouldn't forget also that this group has a French hostage, a woman, Sophie Petronin. They hold her and they want money to free her, and they even pushed things up to telling her son to visit her and that he would be safe. And her son is now in the region. I don't know if he got to visit her or not, but I know that he's in the region. So the other group is the Islamic State with two small subgroups. The Islamic State in Masina, who are the guys of Kufa who left him, and the Islamic State of As-Sahrawi, who vowed allegiance to the Islamic State years ago. So today they are operating mainly in southern and central Mali, with some links also further south. And they don't have any conflict with Al-Qaeda as in other regions. They don't collaborate, but they tolerate each other, if I may say so.
Wassim, thank you for that. France 24's Wassim Nasr.